On New Year's Eve 1997, Bullimore was about to face a storm beyond his sailing experience.
The winds were building all the time, the seas were getting more ferocious. One minute I'm sitting on top of the crest of a big wave and then I'm surfing down it at 25, 30 knots.
With no end in sight to the storm, Bullimore was quickly tiring at the helm. After 6 hours battling with the seas, he desperately needed to rest, so he set the Exide Challenger on autopilot. Then, disaster struck. An enormous wave capsized the yacht, snapping the keel, sealing Bullimore in an airtight tomb.
The boat was relatively dry, and it was only when one of the big windows actually cracked and then caved in, and the water started to come into the hull like the Niagara Falls upside down. It was really quite horrific. Within seconds, you know, the 80% of the hull was filled with water. It was freezing cold. I had to rapidly struggle into a survival suit, and I had to look at new techniques of actually staying alive. You know, that's what it was all about.
Cold, alone and trapped, Bullimore assumed that he would be left to slowly die in the hull of his boat. But unknown to him, the Australians had launched one of their biggest sea rescue operations ever. His emergency beacon had alerted a spotter plane, and the Navy was deployed to aid in the rescue, but it was 4 days away.
Dehydration, hypothermia and frostbite was really getting into me now. I thought I had about a day and a half, 2 days to go, and that would be it. I would be a goner.
Once the Navy finally reached the British sailor, there was little hope that he would still be alive. A rescue launch was sent over to search for any signs of life.
When I first heard the banging on the side of the hull, I was cautious. And then I thought I could have been hallucinating. It could have been a case of me, a tab of wishful thinking that had turned into an hallucination, but it wasn't.
With his last reserve of energy, Bullimore took a chance and swam out, not knowing if it was just his imagination.
There was no way after 5 days of battling and fighting it out to keep alive that I was going to lose it in the last minute and a half. When I broke surface and saw the frigate, the Adelaide, right in front of me, I mean, it was just fantastic. I said, God, I've been saved. You know, it was really, really splendid.
Bullimore's rescuers had got to him just in time. The dramatic rescue made news around the world.
God, I never thought I'd be here. I've got to be honest, I've been in some situations in my life before which I could tell you about, but this was the hardest.
I do believe, in my case, I'm very much a natural-born survivor, but I think that a lot's got to do with the individual, your strength of character, the strength of determination, and the sheer desire to stay alive. You know, that's what it's all about.